I will call the roll before we get started. Mr. Delk? Jonathan Hatton? Joe May?
Yes, ma'am.
Susan Palmer?
She's not here.
David Rivers?
Here.
Adelaide Trumbull?
Present.
Sonia Smith? And April Williams?
Present.
Okay, everybody's present. Let's give them a hand for coming into this room in Ensley, a good room. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, all the candidates were also given the rules. We're going to give you 30 seconds to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and why you're here today. We are going to do this in alphabetical order, and at this time, you will hear from Mr. Eric Delk.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I thank the Committee to Save Jefferson candidate for having this forum and inviting us all here. First thing I want to say is that I'm not a career politician. My name is Eric Delk. I'm a child of District 8. Every level of my education happened right here in this community. I went to Central Park Elementary School, the old building that's torn down now. The Brown Middle School, also the building that's torn down. And graduated from Ensley High School, which is also torn down now. And I graduated with a degree in finance from the University of Alabama. And coincidentally, the dorm I spent 3 years in is also torn down now. So, educationally wise, my buildings have been erased, but I'm still here. Those life lessons I've learned are still here. And I also have an MBA from the Florida Institute of Technology. And right now, I serve as a civil servant with the Department of Defense as a contract specialist. And in that capacity,
10 seconds.
I'm a steward of the public money. And these are business decisions, and I think business decisions need to be made in the city of Birmingham. And that's who I am. Like I said, I'm not a politician, but I deeply care about
Time.
that. I'm actually people.
Our next candidate, Jonathan Hatton.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the Committee to Save Jefferson County, to all of my co-candidates here. I am Jonathan Hatton. Most people know me affectionately as Pastor J. Some of my students who are here know me as Mr. Hatton. But today I'm serving in the capacity of District 8 candidate. I'm here not because I want to. I'm here because I need to. My community is looking like a mirror, a microcosm of Birmingham. There are 3 cities, 3 communities that look great. And when I traverse over to District 8, there are 3 communities that look great. I'm a resident of Ensley Highlands, been living in Highlands since 2008.
10 seconds.
I'm married, 15 years, son, and I'm here to make a difference. And I'm committed to bring logical, strategic thinking and fresh innovation to this seat.
Candidate Joe May.
Good morning. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for the invite. My name is Joe May. I am from here. I'm from Vinesville. I'll give it to you straight. I'm for Black people. I believe that we are a very special group of people. Our interests are underrepresented. As a policymaker, city councilor, I will do my best to stand for those interests and to ensure that we use the city resources in the manner in which best represent that.
Thank you. Mr. Rivers.
Good morning to everybody. First, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate you coming out and taking time this morning. I also like to thank the committee for putting this together. My name is David Rivers, and I'm running for City Council for District 8. I am the Vice President of Bellevue High, and I have been working in the communities, and I want to spread that work along the whole District 8, but not only District 8, the western side of town, because we have been lacking a lot of resources that we need in all the areas. So I'm not just about Bellevue High, I'm about the whole District 8 and the western side of town, that we need to improve our areas and correct all the problems that
10
we have.
seconds.
But thank you. My name is David Rivers, and I'm running for City Council for District 8.
Ms. Smith.
All right, good morning. All right, good morning. I'm Sonia Smith.
I am your current school board member here asking for your vote to be your next District 8 City Councilor. I've spent the last 8 years on the school board, and in my professional life, I work to help improve the lives of others, either through education, as a former classroom teacher, or as a healthcare leader at UAB. So really, I feel the system should work for everyone. It shouldn't matter where you live, what zip code you have, who you know.
10 seconds.
Everyone should have the best possible opportunities in our city. So again, Sonia Smith asking for your vote on August 26th.
Mr. Adelaide Trone.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Adelaide Trone, and I'm actually from District 8. I was born at Cooper Green Hospital. My parents took me home to the West Princeton neighborhood in West End. I grew up in the Fairview neighborhood, attended Fairview Elementary, Glenn Middle School, and Ensley High School my freshman year. And at that point, I moved away from the neighborhood and I graduated from Hewitt-Trussville. I spent 6 years at Auburn University where I was a walk-on football player, earned my scholarship in a starting
10
position.
seconds.
Ooh, got a lot. All right, but I'm here because this is my home and the future of it is worth fighting for. I'm an educator here right now at Jackson High School, where I serve as an educator and an athletic coach for baseball and football. Thank you.
April Williams.
If I could, please, before I start, I want to just let the audience know I have a sinus infection and the coughing and drainage, and I'm trying to suppress it as best I can, but I've been tested. I'm not contagious. I do not have COVID, but it was important enough for me.
Let's get to it, Ms. Williams.
Okay, thank you all. I just felt that y'all was. So, my name is April Myers Williams. I am a lifetime resident of the city of Birmingham. Grew up in Ensley, attended P.D. Jackson Nolan High School, worked 7 years for the city of Birmingham in the city clerk's office, fire chief's office, and street and sanitation administration. I have served 4 terms on Birmingham City School Board. 2, my peers elected me as their president. I own a small business, have started a nonprofit. I have the experience and have demonstrated my commitment and leadership, and I am asking for your support and your vote.
Thank you. At this time, thank you all. Can we give it up for our candidates for District 8 City Council, City of Birmingham? At this time, I'm going to turn everything over to Mr. William Muhammad. He will announce the agenda statement to the next category of candidates, which is this panel here. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, from the Community to Save Jefferson County, the Committee to Save Jefferson County, it is William Muhammad.
Thank you.
And I will do follow-up to his question, so he will lead, and then I will follow up with one question for Candace,
Right.
if needed.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is, and I know this is kind of different than what you had to experience before, so I apologize that you gotta be the first ones to get it, but I'm gonna present to you our agenda, and I would like for you to answer yes or no on how you feel about it, and then take 1 minute, if 1 minute, because I wrote that down, to say why you gave the answer you gave. So I hope that's not too confusing for you. So our agenda is the community agenda. So, what's your position on the disparity study? Do you favor implementing the disparity study, yes or no? And then each one of you take a minute and say why you gave the answer you gave.
We'll go alphabetical. Would you like to do that? Okay, we'll start with Mr. Delk.
I don't even know what you mean disparity of what.
Okay, and
Use your mic, Mr. Delk.
all right. And I just want to say the disparity study is done whenever government has discriminated against certain groups. The city of Birmingham has paid for 2 disparity studies that have proved that blacks have been discriminated against. Yet none of the remedies suggested have been put in place to combat that discrimination.
So with that, yes, I do agree that you should always have some type of disparity study periodically, just to measure progress, or maybe make sure that certain systems aren't working. And if they're not working, then you need to come with other solutions. But yeah, I don't think we reached the point where you can just go without having disparity studies.
Okay.
And they need to be multifaceted because it needs to be not just racially disparity, you need to look at socioeconomic situations, gender disparities, all types of things we need to look at.
Okay, somebody else keeping the time? Next.
Next.
The answer is yes, and I'll tell you the why. Why? Because when we talk about economic empowerment, especially in our community, we need to make sure that the dollars stay in our community. And we need to utilize the minority-owned businesses, and sometimes that's double minority with women. We need to utilize those particular entities to make sure that they get a fair shot. And so, as a counselor, I will advocate that we make sure that the resources and funding is utilized equitably.
Yes, sir, I will. Reasons being, primarily what my brother here just stated, the disparity study provides a baseline that demonstrates discrimination has occurred. So we don't have to worry about determining if it has or not. We know it has. So we can work on policy to determine how to best funnel those resources and to implement things that are going to enhance the quality of life of the citizens. So I'm very much in support of the disparity study. It's already, there for us to do, and it saves us a lot of time on trying to figure out, how to move.
The answer is yes, and we didn't need a study to show that. First thing, you need to put people in office that's gonna look out for the people on this side of town. When you keep on putting the same people in office, you get the same results. So therefore, that's a problem to have for that. But the study wasn't need to be taken to show us that. We look at this every day. So our thing is to bring into the business that we need in our area. We need to work together as a community to enforce these policies that our leaders are doing. So therefore, we can get our fair share of everything. So we don't need no studies. Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
Yes, yes, for sure. We as a city have a bad habit of having these studies that are done and then not following through with the advice of what we've learned. So we basically wasted our money. So as being the good stewards of the finances of the city, then yes, most definitely we need to follow the recommendations of the study.
The answer is yes. We've been misrepresented various times, and we can see it. It's been a part of time countlessly. But we need to make sure that our contractors are prepared to deliver quality work as well. Let's take an example right now. Let's look at the waterworks. We've been disfranchised, and it's something to speak on. The city of Birmingham once had a 6-3 vote where we basically were responsible for appointing the board members. Right now, we don't have that same representation. We have 5 votes. We have 2 votes to 5 now. So we got to make sure that we pay attention to all the dynamics and the structure, but we need to make sure that we prepare our contractors to do quality work so that they can represent, and we can also make sure from a unified standpoint that we have their back and that we can recruit as well as maintain quality contracts to do proper work. Thank you. Contractors giving contracts.
Yes, I'm a contractor.
We're going to continue on, and we'll have questions later from the audience, potentially based on what Mr. Muhammad and the committee suggests. Ms. Williams?
I 100% support the disparity study. I was working with the city of Birmingham when it implemented the initial one, and at the fire department when we had to fight against the white firefighters opposing the disparity study. At the Birmingham Board of Education, I drafted a policy that promoted making sure that people who live in Birmingham, who we represent, received an equitable distribution of contracts across all spectrum. And so there are actual facts and policies that I have implemented to support equitable opportunities for all people, and especially those living and working in Birmingham.
Okay, that was very good. I just want to add for everybody's benefit, that question always comes up about we don't need a study because we live and we see it, but the study makes it, Jude, can you help me out? Judicial, well, you can take it to court. Judicial. So that's the reason why you had to have Richmond versus Croton. I just wanted to add that in there. So you could set up a program to help contractors or people who are discriminated against, and when somebody sue you, you go to court and you say, we did this because Richmond versus Croton said that a disparity exists. Thank you, y'all did very well on that. Should the city of Birmingham look into annexing surrounding cities? Where do we start?
Start down there.
Yeah, we'll start on the end with Ms. Williams.
That's a mouthful. That's a question that the citizens of Birmingham and the citizens of those surrounding communities would first need to address and answer. There are pros and cons to it on all sides. You have communities that are struggling, that need assistance. You have Birmingham that's already struggling and have a shortage of resources for its citizens. So I would not make that decision in a vacuum. I would definitely look toward the community that I serve and the residents of the community that we were looking at annexing before making that decision.
So was that a yes or no? The first question for me, yes.
I don't have enough information to answer that.
Okay, all right. Don't get upset.
I mean,
Mr. Trump?
Yes. My answer is yes. It's something that definitely needs to be reviewed and looked at. Right now, you look at Birmingham. Birmingham was known for being the #1 city in terms of population in the state of Alabama. When you look at Mobile, they are currently and have passed ordinance where they've annexed a portion which has allowed them to supersede us. When you look at Huntsville, they're currently doing that right now, where they've annexed over 10,000 acres, and that has allowed them to propel itself above Birmingham as well. So I definitely think that the consideration of that needs to be reviewed, but again, it does involve more study.
I'm inclined to say no, just because we need to take care of home. And bringing on other areas that are already struggling would then cause us more financial burden. I can't say that I feel that that's the best thing for us at this time.
I'm always like April Williams with that question because it's kind of hard to just go ahead and answer that right now. The problem is that right now, we're not sure Birmingham ain't gonna be taken over while you talk about annexing. Because Birmingham probably the one that get taken over. The thing is that, so you have to really be close by thinking about how this is gonna happen, how it's gonna benefit us. But the way we're going right now, we'll be one being took over. So I think we need to just kind of like play our cards, see what's going on, and develop. And also understand that studies are very important. But when I say that, what I say is the people here in this district see things going on. And that's why I say studies sometimes not needed. But for core purposes, yes, studies are a viable issue. Thank you.
Mr. Manning?
I would say yes, based off of the information that I have now and the historical precedents, I would say yes. The historical precedents is something that's happened before here in the city. I remember in the late 80s, early 90s, under the Ayrton administration, there was a very strong annexation campaign, and the success of it has been proven. Right now, the fragility of our resources is in question, but I don't think that there's actually an issue of resources right now. I think that there's an issue of allocation of resources. So I think that we may have the resources to support. We have lost a lot of population that will allow us to bring back some of that population and some good quality population folks. So I'm in support of it, right now, from what I understand and what I know.
William Tate.
I'm going to lean on the position of I need more information. I think information is critical and key to making decisions, so you want to make informed decisions. But I will say this, as a historian, I can understand that this conversation is definitely not a new one. And as a historian, I can also appreciate the fact that as we sit here and we think about Roosevelt, we think about Brighton, we think about Lipscomb, and even discussions about Fairfield, we don't have another college right now. We lost one. And so as we look at UAB as the only university, we need to seriously consider what Miles would look like, what that looks like. And then that helps our neighboring city called Fairfield, which we share a street. I can literally walk across the street and be in Fairfield and several places in District 8.
And Mr. Dill.
As a former resident of Huntsville for 11 years and seeing what Mobile has done, I don't agree with annexing for the reasons and the way that they've done it. Like, a lot of Mobile and Huntsville did it specifically so they can gain status as being surpassing Birmingham in population. That sounds good on paper, but Huntsville didn't prepare for their infrastructure for that, all that growth. And now they're suffering because of that. So it's not, so you see the numbers in news and oh, they're doing great. Birmingham is a much better position, and we have more to offer than surrounding areas. So we are going to annex. We need to make sure that we're annexing things and properties and areas that can actually add to our city as opposed to take away from it. And we can also look at areas that can be developed into something that will benefit Birmingham. But just annexing just for the sake of building population, not very smart. We have houses here, we have empty lots, we have neighborhoods that can already add people without even annexing. We lost over 100,000 people during the 80s.
Time.
Just for annexation, said for the, just for historical purposes, and many of you know this, but some of you do not. Mayor Arrington annexed, and those of you who go to Brook Highland, or go out to Lake Purdy, or go out to the Summit, many of them think that's either Jefferson County or Shelby County or the city of Inverness, which does not exist. There is no city of Inverness. But that is the Summit, and Arrington, Richard Arrington, first black mayor, 5-term mayor, did that because Birmingham was losing mass tax base. And he came up with that. So to you all's point, Mobile did annex Mobile County to surpass numbers. Huntsville did because, and you know, so the annexation piece has come up over the years with the city of Birmingham, and then there's unincorporated areas, and so Mobile County went in and got unincorporated Mobile County, and that would be your Forestdales or places like that, or Mulga, or places like Concord, or Warrior, you know, things like that. Outside cities like that, that's not an incorporated Warrior is a city. So just the history of that was to survive your tax base. Many of the car dealerships were pulling out, everybody was pulling out, and Arrington jumped in there with that particular city council at the time to say what is now the tax base. This last thing I'm gonna say, the census was here, and normally census neighborhood presidents and their neighborhood associations would go out and get the census numbers so that the city of Birmingham could keep those numbers. Of course, now, according to the census, and regardless of what the facts are, the facts is that the city of Birmingham is now the number 4th city in the state of Alabama for the first time in the history of its existence. And so that it would be that annexation part. Mr. Muhammad?
Good information. Number 3 in our community agenda is that there's a tremendous police budget surplus, and we are saying that it should be used for public safety only. What's your position on that, and why?
I can agree to that to a degree. Public safety should be paramount, should always be a priority. And it depends on what you're saying as far as public safety, what things you want to implement. I do know we need some more streetlights. We probably do need a few more police, and I think there's an effort to recruit more police, which helps public safety. Maybe we need more, we're talking about tag readers, racial identification type things.
Okay, I'm gonna help out because like I said, I know this is different. Birmingham has on the books, 900 officers. That is being funded for that many every year.
Right.
Birmingham may have 400, and I'm being generous. The rest of that money sits in a budget, and at the end of the year, the city council is asked by the administration to vote to use them things for stadiums and concerts, and I mean, not concerts in the community, but so we saying that our position is that this money should only be used for all of the police salaries that are not funded. This money should only be used for public safety things.
Okay, so to that, I can agree that every effort should be made to use that money for some public safety things.
Okay.
And if for whatever reason that can't happen, then maybe you looking at something else. But number one priority, I wholeheartedly agree that public safety should be number one, and every effort should be made to use it in that situation.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So yes, I think that we need to revisit that. When you allocate money, you have to be intentional about the allocation of that money. We know that we were short officers, and we saw the results of the shortage of officers. We experienced the deadliest year in the city's existence. At the same time, we also need to diversify that portfolio because safety is the government's primary responsibility. And when we look at safety, we can use technology like drones and other things that Atlanta and other cities around us are doing to try to curb and combat some of the crime. It's low this year, but I believe this is an outlier. We have to keep the people safe so that we can bring businesses, particularly to this district, but businesses to District 8.
So yes, I agree. I think that all of the budget for public safety should stay within the realm of public safety. We have enough issues with public safety to go around. I don't see why it should shift beyond those borders, but I totally agree. We need to focus primarily, I think, on police presence, but we have to supplement what we don't have. So recruitment is another key piece that we need to use those funds for. I understand the climate and that, police interest nationally is down. I get that. But there are many people who are still interested. We have to find those folks and the people who are going to be committed, to communities like this. So I certainly believe that it all should stay within the coffers that it's been allocated to.
The answer is yes. The money that's been put aside for public safety should stay in public safety. But public safety also can consist of road speed bumps in the neighborhoods that people have been asking for that we can't get. Some communities get them, some communities don't, which I don't understand that, and especially when you don't have speed bumps around a lot of the schools. But public safety also consists of the street lighting that makes a big difference in the community. So the money could be put back into the community versus put out somewhere else. I don't agree always when people tell you they can't hire. I was in management for over 30 years, and I did all the hiring for SACs and provisions, and we didn't have an excuse on not hiring to be able to hire people. The first thing you do, you got to get out and recruit. You don't recruit just in Birmingham. I haven't seen any advertisement out of any other state. You could go all the way to California and recruit. So the thing about when you have this money and these funds, you use that money to recruit in Texas, Louisiana, Atlanta, Huntsville, Chicago. Because whenever you have a youth that's just finishing college or getting out of high school and want to start their career, that's a perfect opportunity. So if you're young, I'm old. Oh my God.
Yes, we definitely need to keep the money for public safety and public safety. And we need to, I agree, looking at recruitment, but also how we can develop our students, put that money into programs to develop students that can go into law enforcement as well. So partnering with our school system.
The answer is yes. I believe those dollars that are allocated towards public safety should stay there. We all know that we have a problem, a safety problem, particularly speaking within our neighborhoods. recruiting, retaining, but making sure that we continue to have quality police work. I can give you an example. I can give you several examples, and all of us know someone that lost someone or have lost someone personally ourselves. Me being a baseball coach right here, April the 11th, right in the middle of a baseball game on a Friday evening, there was a shootout at the back of the park. A lot of our baseball games, sometimes we don't have enough police to attend, and that causes problems for our young people.
10 seconds.
Primarily, my number one priority on my platform is public safety. Building people, but public safety is the number one thing. We gotta protect our safe places where our young people attend as well as our seniors.
I 100% support retaining those funds, and the council would be the body that's responsible for ensuring that, because it's controlled by the budget. And any amendments to the budget has to come before the council. So that's how we can make sure that those dollars are spent where on that line. And I would look at public safety, streets, roads, lighting, speed bumps, violence intervention, recruitment, retention, training, salaries and benefits for employees, and security cameras in our neighborhood. Do you know why Hoover can solve crime so fast? Gardendale can avoid, Irondale, because they have cameras and you have documentation of crimes and actions that are taking place. That's what I would like to see happen with those funds.
Thank you. And just for some factual information, the city of Birmingham, under the former administration, under Chief Roper, had close to 930, almost 930 officers. At that time, Chief Roper made a public announcement that he wanted to have over 1,000 and then increase that. A few years ago, the reporting of numbers of staff and policing had ceased. I'm not sure why, but all the police officers all of you all know your sources would have told you that the department was down under 400. They're currently now having an aggressive approach to try to recruit. But again, you went, I mean, the numbers are clear. And so it was almost a situation of the defunding of police. I know you remember those terms back when others were running nationally. That became a national conversation about defunding the police. So that's where we are now. You do not have 500 officers on your streets. Mr. Muhammad?
All right, so what I want to do is, like our good friend Gary Richardson said, we're gonna do some rapid fire because we can't. How much time we got, Jarvis, on,
about 40 minutes.
40 minutes, so, let's see, can we finish this in 10, how about that? So we can cut your answer time down to, 30 seconds.
You been rolling?
Okay, I needed to roll faster. Our candidates seem to be in pain. All right, so item number 4 on our agenda, we're in favor of the city helping to secure the Birmingham Southern property for an HBCU. Give me your answer, then let's do 30 seconds on why. And then if you don't have to even do that for us, but what do we leave off with?
The city has, I would say, I would definitely be interested in looking at what that proposal looked like and what that opportunity would be. I can't definitely say one way or the other, but I do know the city has spent a lot of dollars helping UAB, a lot of dollars recruiting other businesses to the city. So I would really be interested to see how we could help Birmingham Southern, and the reason that campus rather, the reason I say that is because it sits in District 8.
Could you please tell me your exact question?
We are in favor of the city helping to develop the Birmingham Southern property into an HBCU.
Well, right now, and in my professional opinion, it's a 192-acre campus. Growing up as a child, that property was extremely instrumental in terms of educational resources for young people as myself. They had library access, swimming pools, and even up into now, we were allowed our baseball team to go there and utilize their resources. That property is vacant right now, and it's been extremely quiet. There's a word called highest and best use, and we need to identify what's the highest and best use.
Time.
Let's just make sure that we put the right tenant in that property. There are sometimes a lot of HBCUs that can't afford to be there. So for someone to come in there and leave tomorrow would be extremely problematic.
Right, well, as a graduate of Birmingham Southern, of course I want the best for that property, but also recognizing it's a private property. Right. So there's only but so much that we can do as a city when it comes to that property, because it has to go through those private entities. But I support anyone that will be there that will make the best of that property so that it can be a positive to our community.
Mr. Rivers?
Actually, I can't answer that question right now either with the bringing the HBCU into that ground. But we need to put a Band-Aid on it because there's other conversations are being had about that property. And we all know, I think we should know, that that's not the only people that they're looking for that property. And a lot of things have already taken place for that property. So we don't want to be wishfully thinking for something that we know we're not going to get when they already have plans to do that.
Mr. May?
Certainly, I support the pursuit for that property to be turned into, well, for the tenant to be a HBCU. I remember Miles College and A&M were two of the top prospects. Now, again, don't know all the information, but certainly I believe that the city can do something to incentivize that, to happen, be it tax breaks, what have you. So I'm strongly in support of it. It would, I think, transform the community in so many ways. So I am strongly in support of that. And whatever we could do to facilitate that, I think we do.
Time. Zach?
As a Millennial, go Bears. But seriously, I don't know what fell through and didn't happen, but that would literally change Birmingham. If Miles is in that facility, it will change Birmingham for the better. Why? Because we would have access that we never had, and we will be able to utilize, recruit, promote, retain, and everything that we need in the city can happen on that campus.
Mr. Dell?
This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion. So, Birmingham Southern was a college. It is no longer there anymore. And so, I don't look at that campus as a college or a future college anymore. I see it as 192 acres of prime real estate that is 5 minutes from downtown. What we need to do in Birmingham is utilize that property to what's going to bring the most back to the community and the city as a whole. And so right now, the budget is like $591 million. That sounds like a lot, but it's still not enough. We need to keep building. And this is an opportunity for Birmingham to bring something to this city that we've never had before. And can continue to bring income to this city.
Okay, so, so we are in favor of full employment for city workers. On the point that you all made, we have the largest revenue budget that we've ever had in history, but we finding out that all of the city departments, not all of them, because I can talk myself, many of the city departments are at their lowest point in time, and those are jobs that would expanding the economy in our community. For example, street and sanitation used to be the largest department in the city, over 3,000 workers. Now, we're being told it's down to 1,500. Well, that's 1,500 jobs that could be in our community where people could be spending money. So what's your position on that?
Mr. Dell, we're going to start on your end.
Okay, I do think we need to increase the city employment, especially the street and sanitation department, because I've been talking to people and services are lacking. Just from the information I'm giving them. They're not happy with brush pickup, they're not happy with trash pickup. And the thing about I've been hearing consistently is that they want people at least just stick to the skills that they say. And so, yeah, I'm totally in favor of trying to bring those jobs back, and we need to do whatever we can, and that goes on with increasing that budget.
Time.
All right.
Absolutely, positively. We are lacking because we don't have people to do the job. We need workers, and we need workers bad. When we look at our city, especially over here on the west side, there's high grass, there's overgrown lots, there's bumpy roads, and all of this is a lack of the services that the city is supposed to provide. As taxpayers, we have a right to demand and make sure that we fill those positions and get the services we need, because part of government's responsibility
Time.
is service.
Simple answer. Yes, we have the money. Hire the people.
That's right.
I don't understand what's so difficult about that, especially for positions that appeal directly to your residents. So yeah, we certainly need to do that. We have the money. Let's hire the people so that we can get better services and quality of life for our people.
Mr. Rivers?
The answer is yes, and I'm gonna tell you one thing about it. When you have sold off the city of Birmingham, then you can't have those positions. Those positions were sold off, so therefore you not have those employees doing those jobs. You hire private companies to do these jobs. So that's the problem right there. So you need to realize that the city's been sold, so that band-aid's not gonna come off right now. So those people was furloughed from those job positions. It's not, but the short, it's not about no money, nothing, it was sold.
Yeah. All right.
Ms. Smith?
Yes, yes, we definitely, yes, we need to, yes, we need to do this. Especially hiring more full-time employees, creating a more sense of community, creating more sense of ownership within what's happening within our city. So yes, definitely.
Mr. Trone?
Yes, the answer is yes. But also we need to make sure that those jobs are being filled in the right place. We need to make sure that leadership understands their job roles within public safety, which has been combined with park and rec, which was formerly known as street and sanitation. But we also need to make sure that individuals are accountable. How many times have you rolled up and you've seen someone sleeping in a truck in the alley? All you have to do is take a ride around a couple of blocks. So we need to make sure that those dollars are being utilized and that people are on the work clock and end time or doing the work that needs to be done.
Thank you. Edward Williams?
The answer unequivocally, whoever you ask, is going to be yes. But for the council, you have currently limited ability to impact that decision. We have to change the Mayor-Council Act in order for the council to be able to govern and help with the administration of employees. Currently, that is a single function of the position of the mayor. Only the mayor can direct employees in the city of Birmingham. So we would have to change the Mayor-Council Act, which changed under Representative Oliver Robinson.
And with that said, how many of you would be engaged and not sitting silent when you get there? Because we've been knowing that part. How many of you going to be engaged and saying, I want you to stand up? How many are you going to be engaged? Because, you know, it sounds good, we all know that. Maybe there's room for that explanation. But how many of you, when you get there, will not forget that you said that in this room? Yeah, Ms. Williams said it in the room. Thank you for that historical perspective. Mr. Muhammad, I turn it over back to you.
Thank you. Culture. I'm Miles, and that's culture. But I just want to say to that, because I'm gonna cut the question short.
We got 5 more questions, you got time.
Okay, because we're gonna vote to suspend the rules. Y'all learn that when you get up at the council. So we can go long enough to have some more of this. But what I wanted to say on that note was what Ms. Williams said so wonderfully. That's the highlight of the program so far, that passion. But you got a choice. And I didn't put this on our agenda, but understand, like I asked you, what's your position, yes or no? That's a effing choice. Don't go up there thinking that you got to vote for a budget if it don't serve. Well, that's my next question. The question that I'm gonna take was that no rubber stamps. Our policy is no rubber stamps on the council, community first. And what I mean by don't feel like some law make you have to vote for something that don't serve your people. You can not vote for the budget or you can vote for it. So what's your position on no rubber stamps on the council? That's our.
I'll start with Ms. Williams.
Well, I don't think I have to really answer that question for most people that know me. I'm a very independent, data-driven person. I care about the community. I will always put the needs of those I represent first. And only time you will get my approval is if it serves those that I am elected to serve.
Mr. Trump.
1 minute.
Time.
I just want to say I can work with and will work with whomever is in the position of mayor, but I will always act independently.
Thank you.
It's too many times after election day, once our leadership is determined, that people revert to lack of transparency, not holding individuals accountable, and that's why we are where we are right now. You see, our crossplex has been abandoned. We've seen that eyesore for a decade now. We were promised an amphitheater that's now in North Birmingham. And it's so many times that we've gone along to get along and we've elected someone to represent us that has not. I'm my own man, I've been my own person, I got a strong voice and I believe in accountability, but more or less I believe in District 8.
So my priority is and has always been as an elected official to do what's in the best interest of the people that I represent. So when proposals have come to me from the school board, if I don't agree with it, I will vote against it. And people who attend school board meetings can attest to that. If it's not in the best interest of my district, then I cannot support that because I have to come back and I have to live here and I have to deal with the ramifications of those decisions. So I will always vote in the best interest of my district over anything that's presented.
Mr. Rivers.
I have never been a rubber stamp. I have always spoken my mind, and I've always fight for the underdog. And right now, we're the underdog. So therefore, I would never speak and do anything that's not going to be beneficial to not only the 8th district, but the western side of town. So it's for everybody, and that's what we need to focus on. What's the best interest for the people of the community, and that's what I would do.
Certainly, again, I will not be a rubber stamp. I do believe, though, in diplomacy. I think that politics in our city has become quite petty and childish. It's downright. I don't mind having a conversation, tough conversations. I think that we need to do it respectfully. But certainly, if it's something that that needs to be done or doesn't need to be done, I do not mind standing up for that. So, absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead,
I need to say this because we did start late and I did not address it up front. I may not be able to stay to the end. I have a funeral that I have to officiate.
Yes, we understand that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you for that.
And since you was going to do all the questions. This comes down to what I do on a daily basis. In my capacity as an educator, I teach AP Government and Politics. And I teach my students to be independent thinkers. That is, don't listen to what people say. The best way that you judge a political candidate is you study their voting pattern. With that being said, this comes down to 2 C's: conviction and compromise. Understand that to get anything done in government, you have to compromise. But if it's going to be to the detriment of my citizens where I live,
10 seconds.
I will stand on my convictions.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Mr. Delk.
Okay, try to make this as quick as possible. Anybody who's known me knows that I have no problem standing on my own. Even from my time in the military, I remember in the military, there were issues that would come and people always say, "Delk, say something." Like, why was that be the one to say something? But fine, that's the role I gotta play. That's the role I gotta play. But I can collaborate. I can work with people, but I also understand in government, there's sometimes where maybe one community may have to take a loss for the greater benefit, for the greater good. For instance, there was an example a few years ago when
10 seconds.
MLB wanted to bring that camp to Birmingham. That would benefit the city. Well, we lost it because one community didn't want it. And sometimes we gotta take those losses. But overall, I will stand for what's right.
The MLB did come here, and that vote was very telling. And in fact, the persons that objected were at the time was Councilor Valerie Abbott. That was George Ward Park, 99 acres. MLB was going to put their training camp here for youth across the country. The one vote was not her per se. She was the voice that said she didn't want it in Glen Iris and Highland Park and over by UAB. But the voices that voted against it look like you. Mr. Muhammad?
Okay, how much time do we have now? 21 minutes, but can we take like a 3-minute break so I can change the battery out? Okay, after this is gonna be last, I'm gonna cut this down to my last question. Every time we change.
It's 11 o'clock. Mr. Haddon, do you have to go? Do you have enough time to take one more?
I'll take this last one.
Okay, yes, sir.
And then I wanted to say, after that, we're gonna suspend the rules if everybody's in favor of that and take out as much time he got left to try to be here at least till 11:30. No, can't get past 11:30, we have to get out. Okay. Because I want y'all to be able to be in a more alternative to Sheila at that time, and y'all might ask Muslim. Okay, last question for me. We are in favor of increasing city retiree pension. What's your position? How do you feel about that? Yes or no, and why?
Let's start with Mr. Delk.
Honestly, I'm not aware of what the retiree pension is right now, so I couldn't speak intelligently about whether it should be increased or not.
Can you give us some more information?
The city employee pensions and salaries, it's a push now that was voted upon by the pension board. And the pension board voted, it hadn't been raised, Dixon,
30 years.
30 years. It hadn't been raised in 30 years. Cost of living, people get that, what they call COLA, something like that. These pensions for the people who work for the city had been raised in 30 years. They took a vote and they voted to raise it. And it was unanimous vote. And one of the people on that board is the mayor, and it was a unanimous vote, but when it went to the city council, it was said that it would bust the budget. It would bust the budget. The biggest budget in history. I don't know, it would bust all these positions where ain't nobody working. But yet, you couldn't find the money to be able to pay like $400 cost of living. So,
okay. On the surface, I think that after 30 years, that probably should have been some type of cost of living increase. I can't speak to say exactly what those numbers should be because I'm not privy to that information. But logically, it would seem that there should be some type of increase.
Thank you, Mr. Haddon.
If I had the opportunity, I would try to make that happen if I could.
Mr. Haddon, on the surface, if you cannot answer it, but just give a generalization of a retiree or being in a pension plan yourself, of what you think that
I can do that because I definitely want my money to be there. And as an educator, we've had series of conversations around this very thing. I will say this: you take care of the people who take care of you, and that's how I operate. That's how I move. So that's what I would advocate for.
Not sure of all the details like Sheila was saying, but whatever the case is, I believe that it needs to be comparable to the national standard.
Right.
So, absolutely, I'm in favor of that for sure.
Mr. Leader?
My answer is yes as well, because everybody deserves an increase with the cost of living going up. You should be getting an increase every term. So that's a no-brainer for me. Yes, you should get an increase, and I feel they should, and it shouldn't take 30 years for them to get an increase.
So, yes, they do need to have an increase. And as a council, we need to unite and push the mayor to work with all parties involved, work with the pension board so that this can happen. Because it's stalled way too long.
Thank you. Mr. Drummond?
Yes, again, I put on my professional hat as a financial planner, where I serve as a financial planner for retirees. The increase is what you call COLA, and you'll like that to be an addition to your pension when you start receiving it, because it'll increase with the cost of living. That has not been there for 30 years.
That is correct.
Meaning the cost of living has more than doubled in 30 years. Meaning that if you were getting $1, you spend $1, you break even. Now, that same dollar, you're having to spend $2 to compensate for that $1. So we have individuals that are not keeping up with the cost of living, and that is extremely harmful to our people that have served.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Hi, I 100% support it and would advocate for it, but I do not advocate for a Band-Aid fix. I would look for a permanent fix so that there would be a permanent policy for ongoing COLA increase based on the national standard. So we wouldn't have to continuously visit this and definitely not look at a conversation 30 years later.
So your counterparts around here, Jefferson County has 36 cities. Birmingham is just one of them. It is the largest city with the largest tax base currently. Behind that is Mountain Brook, Vestavia, Homewood, and guess what? Bessemer. Big old tax base. They quiet over there, but the money is flowing off Academy and all off of Exit 1. And Joe, I know you know that. This is what I'm going to ask you. Currently, Hoover is building 5,000 houses. Currently. All sides of town. And they just came up with River Chase Village, which is health and wellness for their seniors 55 and up. Can't keep 50. They're building senior housing. Your neighbors in Gardendale, Fulmdale, housing. Then your neighbors in Shelby County, Calera, your neighbors in Irondale, housing. Trustville is booming. Let me be clear. So an announcement about 10 micro shelters in the state cities, in the county's largest city, and an announcement about 2 houses in Fountain Heights.
Come on now.
I want to ask you, what are your plans to develop new housing for those seniors, veterans, but young adults, or professional working people, or people who are single families, and single moms, and single dads? Overall, what's the housing plan that you have? And I'll take it with Mr. Delk, because you can start on your end.
Okay. My first priority, because I realize people keep looking at our budget and keep thinking, the $591 million, that's the record budget. It is. But I don't think people really understand just how far behind we were. And yes, we're getting closer, but we're still a long way from where we need to be. And my main thing is, I want to bring in more commercial development, more businesses, so we can build our tax base. But at the same time, we still need to prioritize making housing more affordable. So I partnered with a nonprofit that was working in Atlanta. Now, I was instrumental in bringing them to Birmingham. Now, they haven't done any work in District 8 yet, because no money was allocated to them for District 8. But I volunteered with them in District 7, I believe, and maybe District 9. And I volunteered working.
10 seconds.
Oh, so one of the things I want to do is partner with organizations like that to help create better housing for people, so they can be safe, secure, and warm in their homes. But we still got to continue to build this budget.
Mr. Beck?
Yes, ma'am. So I think where Birmingham contrasts with all the other municipalities that were mentioned is that they are attractive. Right now, I don't know if we are as attractive as they are, but there are things, we have mechanisms in place to attract folks. The Land Bank Authority, I think, is an underutilized resource that we have. We can use the land bank to basically transfer properties and wealth to people. We can incentivize them, come back home. For all the people who've left, all the people who are moving here from elsewhere, come here, because we can help you, with your mortgage by way of giving these properties that we can provide by way of the land bank. So there are many other things, but I think that's one critical component that we can implement.
Mr. Rivers?
I think we, of course, bringing the homes in, first we need to start bringing youth back into our communities. That's a big problem. They leave our city because we don't have anything to offer. So you have to offer somebody to stay. I think we need to also, when we start a project, we need to complete them. Mm-hmm. So we have projects that started homes and we're not completing projects. That's a big issue right there. So you giving people what you call affordable homes, and I don't know when the homes start being affordable at $300,000. Okay. So therefore, you have to make it where the people can actually afford the home, and then you have to also give people quality homes. Because when I went into some of those homes with ribbon cutting ceremonies, they're not quality material. So therefore, we need to do that to make sure that we get our neighbors
10 seconds.
into the homes that they deserve.
Mr. Trump?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, one of these problems we look at, we can look right now at the vacant houses that are in our neighborhood. I know personally 2 contractors that have gone into the Bush Hills and Fairview neighborhoods and have taken those homes, but they've redone them themselves, and they've offered them to local realtors that have in return sold those houses to individuals. And I think that's one way to fix our problem. We have houses right now that have wonderful character into them. They were built in the late 1940s and 1950s. And these are homes right now that they're extremely affordable. You look at them and they're selling for $40,000, $50,000 to investors, and they're going in and they're changing the face of these homes. And they're plagued throughout our neighborhoods. Ensley Highlands has these homes. Bellevue Heights has these homes. So we need to partner with our contractors and investors that are right here locally and understand the character of our neighborhood, and let's put the people right here that are staying here, and let's put them into these homes and teach them how to maintain a house so that we can have our citizens right here.
Thank you. April Williams?
I can tell you from personal experience what I did. I purchased an abandoned vacant property in the city of Birmingham and renovated that, and now it's home. We can work on infill housing like we did when we closed Fairview School or Baker School, and we worked with Habitat for Humanity, donated that property to Habitat for Humanity, as well as Tuxedo, where now you have homes where those schools were. Tuxedo is senior living, and on Bush Hills, we identified all the vacant and abandoned properties and worked with developers to redefine those areas, and now they are homes that people are living in. And we can use new development properties that we can get developers to come in, and that means you have to be willing to work with people. And I have a history of building relationships and working with people to accomplish those goals.
Thank you all. And just for the record, the largest home builder one of the largest home builders in the nation. Come on now. In the nation. Built Rossbridge, built Black Ridge, built Stockton and Trustville, and now building in Nashville. Went to a Birmingham City school called Huffman, graduated from UAB, and cannot get the attention of your folks downtown. So he has said...
They went to Atlanta and got the person to do...
That's right.
Exactly. So, Mr. Dwight Sandlin with Signature Homes is a Huffman High School grad. He went to UAB, and if you remember the sextuplets out in Centerpoint, he was on Extreme Homes. he is a resident and a person of Birmingham. And he did build, and in Hoover and Trustville, they are with this person, but he has instructed in many meetings openly, he doesn't hold his tongue, that he doesn't understand why he can't get into the city that he was born and raised in. So he has said he just keeps it moving. So I'm just telling you, you do have the ability. He is building those 5,000 homes. So let's move on. I want to ask each one of you, please give us what your plans are on whether it's economic development, housing, workforce development. Nobody mentioned cybersecurity. The city got hacked.
Come on now.
Shouldn't have happened. It ain't gonna happen at your neighbor, which is neighbors next door, because they have off-site security, which means if you get hacked, there's another, like a generator pops in another location. So what is any of your plans, and it could be anything that you feel is near and dear to your heart for this community to thrive? And I'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll wrap back up with Mr. Muhammad. And I have one more question for Mr. Franklin. So you want to start, Mr. Doak? Or you want Ms. Smith-Williams, you want to start? Okay, go.
Okay, my plan is this. I moved back to Birmingham. I'm born and raised in this area, but I moved back here 5 years ago. Purchased a property just like Ms. Williams said and rehabbed it. And it's a beautiful property and it's the Highlands. But you drive around the District 8 and you really pay attention, you can see a lot of things that are in this district that just make this area unique. Things that we can promote, that we can bring to the city of Birmingham and bring value to the city that no other area can do. We have beautiful parks that all they need to be is developed, and they'll be an asset not only to us, but the entire city. And then some of these things are right off the freeway, right near downtown. You can easily get to them. They bring people over this way. I think we need better grocery stores. The other thing is, we don't have a big box hardware store other than the Home Depot and Crestwood in this entire city. And if we're the largest municipality in this region, why do our residents have to go to neighboring cities to get just wood if we want to do a home repair project? That makes sense. And so, recently,
20 seconds.
Okay. So my proponent is bring more things to this area and create the community that we need to have in this city that we just don't have anywhere else. I've seen it in other cities of similar size. They got short pump in Richmond. They have
10 seconds.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying, we need to bring things here to this community that can enhance this community and this city. And those are the things I want to focus on.
Mr. May?
So probably, like everyone else here, I love Birmingham. I'm from here. It has given me the best quality of life that I could possibly have. I don't feel the same about Birmingham as I did when I was growing up. I think that we have become derelict in our duty to be communal to each other. When I'm out here on the campaign trail, I'm noticing a lot of unnecessary hostility. We have to forge community around each other first, folks. I want to use this position as city councilor to do just that. I want us to corral community around each other so that we can place those demands on city government to provide to us the resources that we need to do what we need to do. It's that simple to me. There are a host of things I want to do. I don't want to promise you that I'm going to be able to do every single thing I set out to do. I want to promise you that I can be the best representation and strong voice of independent, non-rubber stamped representation, folks, that you can have. And so I want to do that. That's my plan. There are a lot of other nuances to the plan, but that's the foundation of it. Community is it. And I want to be that voice that brings that quality of life back here.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes, one thing when you said that, Sheila, about the young man that has this development, when a person is owed favors, then that's the reason we can't get certain things done. So therefore, that needs to be taken care of right there. So with the rubber stamping, that's why we don't get things we done, because we don't do any favors. The next thing that I need to know that is we need to bring vocational jobs back to the neighborhood. I have been working with our aerospace place with a neighbor of mine that introduced me to somebody that can, with the drones, where we can program the drones and give the kids an opportunity to get a real job. When I was growing up, McDonald's and Burger King was a good job for youth, but right now we need to develop our kids so therefore they'll be ready for the next century. So therefore, these jobs need to be brought back into the community. I also have been talking to companies that would do solar plants. Because therefore, if you don't know, we're in an area right now where always it's starting to power go out. They have opportunities to put these meters on your homes. It's already been programmed into Alabama Power, Georgia Power, where if the power go out, then you kick back onto your generator that you already have. There's no cost to you. Thank you.
Mr. Trump?
Yes, I start with my platform with a safety first concept. We must, from a unified effort, make sure that public safety is instilled within our neighborhoods and our communities. After that, it's people building, and we got to start with our youth. I've shown that, I've displayed that, and that's what I believe in. From being a baseball coach, from being an educator at Jackson Nolan High School, teaching, coaching, and just being a good role model, but pouring into our young people. Next, our seniors. Our seniors have devoted, and I'll just even go back. Our neighborhoods they consist of foot soldiers that fought for us, and they laid the pavement for blacks all across the world. And I think they need and they deserve quality neighborhoods and reassurance around safety. We have three major assets that needs to be poured into: Legion Field, Rickwood Field, and our Crossplex. Those are revenue generators that could not only serve as a safe place for our young people, but it's also where they can generate dollars because they already attract people all across the world. And that's why I'm asking for your vote August 26th at Latron.
April Williams?
My platform is very simple: people, purpose, and progress. Always putting people first. Starting with community engagement, I encourage you to go to my website, Williams for BHAM8.com. You'll learn more about my platform. You'll also be able to take a survey because I want to know what's most important to you. I have a platform to have a shop local so that we can identify businesses in District 8. When you look at District 8, as he just said, all the sports complex, we should be the sports center of the Magic City. We can reimagine and redefine Legion Field just as they did Regents Field when the Barons moved out of it. We can have a sports complex that MLB can come in and partner with us right there in the center of District 8. I would like to also have a District 8 resource center. We have a lot of small businesses that need a home. We have seniors that need a place. We have commissary kitchens. We have a lot of caterers. Recently, we had a caterer that was fined because they were cooking at home. So we had a resource center. We could provide all of those resources for our community.
Thank you so much. And would you like to have one more question? We're gonna thank you very much for your answers. Very, very candid answers. Very passionate. Y'all were all different and very passionate. That's something that I hadn't seen a lot of. But you all are very passionate. Last passionate person in the room. Be brief. Is Mr. Franklin.
Don't look at me as a candidate. Listen to me as a citizen. Grew up in District 8 and District 9. You're running for District 8. There's only one rec center that is in District 8. There is no swimming pools open in District 8. And even when you talk about the western side of town, there's really only one swimming pool open. Running as council, what would be your ideas or your plan? And remember, we have the Crossplex that's sitting there, and I would just love to hear your ideas about that.
Would you like to hear their ideas about the Crossplex and District 8 or just in general?
The rec centers.
The rec centers. So you want to know what they're going to do for health and wellness, recreational pleasure for youth and others who are leaving in
senior citizens as well.
And senior citizens, yes, we need to include that. Okay, how much? Take about 30 seconds and answer that. Be brief, please, and answer Mr. Franklin's question. I'll turn it back over to
Very
Mr.
brief. If you look at Sheila, I can't help it, stated about Bessemer, Big Bessemer, and they have that theme, Big Bessemer, right? Look at their recreation center. Why can't we have a recreation center just like that in District 8? When you only have one, that should be Central Park, and it should be just like the one in Big Bessemer. And I would like to see Harris Pool reopened. I used to swim there. It's not about having lifeguards, it's about having a facility that you can put lifeguards in. So we need to first address that.
Thank you. Mr. Trump?
Yes, I'm extremely passionate about Harris Pool. I'm glad you mentioned that pool. Ever since I've known 5 years old, every summer I went to that school. I actually represented BPR, which is Birmingham Park and Recreational swim team there, where as a youth I was a state champion in several different divisions and strokes. And I'm extremely passionate about that pool. I know it was a safe space for me as well as my sisters. I imagine that space right now, and I don't know what the thinking was prior to developing it, but if you look at the baseball field that's on the opposite end,
10 seconds.
there's now a division that was built right in the center field, which doesn't make sense. But I like to see that as a splash pad where young people can go that is just safe. It's a big area. But we need to make sure that we use our parks because we have green space that's almost throughout the district, and it needs to be developed for our seniors as well as our young people.
Mr. Rivers?
My first thing about the parks, I think I was about the only one stood in the board meetings at the Park and Rec for that. So yeah, I wish everybody would attend those meetings and try to get our pools open. So I'm speaking from when I attended the meetings to fight to get Harrison Park open. So therefore, the money was earmarked for that. But the thing is, we shouldn't let our pools get to this state where they are so bad and damaged, where we need to get them repaired. Another thing is that we had on the table to close 12 of our recreation centers, which is unfortunately that you would try to close our recreation centers. Once
10 seconds.
Our youth is our biggest future. So therefore, we need to give them all the opportunities for that. Thank you.
Mr. May?
Community centers serve as the citadel to the community. In community centers, that's where the young and the old intersect. So when we talk about building community, that's where you do that. Whenever young people are introduced to older people, our elders, the foot soldiers, those ones who paved the way for us, there's a certain transference that occurs. So I think that we have the facilities, but it goes to so many other things in the city. We have to maintain them, rehabilitate them, and invest into them in such a way that it provides that place. My children, when we were coming in, they said that should be more than what it is, the park that's out here, splash pads and things. So certainly, we have to do that.
And Mr. Dell?
Well, recreation centers are near and dear to my heart. They were a big part of the foundation of my youth growing up. I mean, I played at Central Park Recreation Center basically every day after school. I was at this one every Saturday on the weekends. And I've gone on the weekends, almost drowned at Harrison Park twice. So, seriously, don't even know how I survived the second time, I mean. But what we have to do is engage with kids early on in life, when they're in elementary school, and get them to understand how valuable it is to be outside in these recreation centers and getting on these sports teams and doing different things. So, but we have to engage their parents first, so they can transfer that importance to them. But as far as the seniors, we have to do what we can, and they also come to these recreation centers as well to have their meetings and engage and do community service and do and relate with each other. And so we have to have programs for them, we have programs for the kids, but we really have to do what we can to upgrade these facilities because in 30, 40 years, they all still look the same. We haven't done anything to improve. Now, when you go to these other communities, they got brand new facilities.
And to Mr. Dell's point, in other cities around you, they do. Bessemer, big Bessemer now. They didn't take the E's out. They don't take the E's out. It's Bessemer. They do have a beautiful, and it's a statement piece actually. Of course, you know your other counterparts that have had these facilities. Vestavia is building a crosswalk over to theirs. Hoover, it looks like Hoover. But then you've got Irondale, and you've got Fultondale and Gardendale. And these are places that are just right 15 minutes. But guess what? Fairfield has a stellar senior program. Brighton has a stellar senior program. So I think you have to start talking this community up as opposed to talking it down. And I think Ensley, in fact, last thing I'm gonna say is I turn it back over to our leader here. I do wanna say, I do remember my daughter was 4. Her dad taught right here with Mr. John tennis. You've had some stellar athletes come out of here, stellar managers. Ms. Williams, Mr. Rivers, Mr. Trone, and Mr. May, who has had a business in other places, a very successful one. And then Mr. Del, coming home to live in the community. I was going to buy that house, that little yellow house, because I thought it was a cool house that my daughter could go to tennis, my husband, we could stay. I really thought that was like and I was very young, but it felt good and it wasn't that expensive. So like he said, like all of them, you don't have to have a $300,000 house. Start where all of these folks, and you did renovate a beautiful home. So you got a good group here. I don't know what you think, but you got a good group here. And I just want to thank all of you participants who care about your community at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Sponsors, Committee to Save Jefferson County, would you stand? Committee to Save Jefferson County, would you stand? Former Congressman William Muhammad, Sarah Congo, Miss Marcia, who keeps us all in line, and there it is, Chris Mosley, and there are about 30 others. Miss Gowdy, is she?
That's right.
Yeah. And now, for the Black Contractor Association, would you stand?
That's right.
Miss Pat Gowdy. An original female who does some work, and then also the Fraternal Order of Police. Is there any representative here? I know they were here a little earlier.
He was here.
Okay, he was here. So I want to thank you so much for the honor and the privilege to fill in for whoever you have, but I don't ask questions, I just respond. And thank you for that. And to our photographer of record, Escott, First Impressions, Jarvis Escott. And I'm going to hand it back over to Mr. William Muhammad to close us out. Thank you so much. The Community Forum is sponsored by the Black Contractors. Meet the leaders running to shape Birmingham's future.
Thank you.
Thank you all. We got to get out of here. Somebody's supposed to be coming in at 1. So anybody who wants to stay and volunteer to help to put all this stuff back where it's supposed to go, we'll find out from them. We're going to ask you for that. And I thank Sheila for doing a marvelous job. Like I said, I consider myself Miles Davis. I do stuff based on how I feel. And I say, she's John Culture.
I'm like, I can handle the crowd.
We thank y'all for coming. We had a good time. I was trying to think of something that I could leave with without preaching to y'all. And that was agenda. I know we took a lot of time presenting agenda to you, and y'all did well. Y'all the first one to experience it. And y'all did well. Y'all a great group. Like you said, I wish y'all would move into different. It wasn't too late time. But they are a good group. But the only thing, Monday we will be at the St. James Christian Center, which is right across the street from Green Acres. Reverend A.B. Jackson at 6 o'clock, and that'll be the 9th district. We won't have as many people in the 9th district. That's gonna be a good one, cause it's folks in the 9th district that's saying they're gonna let their work speak for them. So we don't have to be worried about that person. So we want all y'all to come out. That's from 6 to 8. Come out. Thank you. And like I said, I want to say this last thing, and then I got to get up out of here. We all got to get up.
Tell them when to vote, and we'll get you a list of absentee. You got to get this stuff in early and go get each one getting one.
Right. And
you're not voting out here. You're not voting out. That's right.
And I just wanted to say about agenda, this is what we plan to do. It's not what we asking somebody about. It's not for the sake of having questions. This was the things we was asking about. We committed to that. And I think that y'all pretty much said y'all was committed to the same thing. It might have been political, but it'll come back and bite you now. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all was a great group, and y'all was like charter school folks were talking. Y'all was like the experiment. It was the first time we got there. Thank you all. Thank you everybody.